everybody. So, I basically do feel lonely. I like the song Modern Loneliness by Love because I feel like it's nice to listen to him. I like his lyrics, I like his songs, I like being sad, I like to hear sad songs. I like to kind of like not really fall into depression or be too sad, but listening to songs or knowing that lyrics that singers sing that resides in my mind sometimes would bring me some kind of like comfort because I do feel random like loneliness or sadness at times. I was thinking that I was lonely these days because at night it's like people be saying don't trust how you feel at night after 9 p.m. But I realized I still feel lonely and it wasn't 9 p.m. It was before. So I realized to myself that I do have, these feelings of loneliness that is sudden, then I would forget about it. But I want to talk about it because I've felt loneliness in the way that I'm always alone and I gotten used to being alone, and I think for myself I like to be alone because I feel like that's where I'm like safe, because whenever people talk to me, which I enjoy people's company, but when they talk to me about something about myself or the comments they made about me, I realize that I can't just simply like ignore what they say. Like it doesn't need to be mean or anything, it was just a comment, and I feel like maybe I'm being like too caught up in it, and it's true because like I could not even like escape from what they say. So if I'm alone, at least I have myself and like just games to play with. I realized that when people tell me something, I would like not like it, but it will still stick to me, and that really sucks for me. And I just feel like I could be lonely with people because of how they make me feel, how they treat me. Like it's not nice, and I can't really stand up for myself because I have like trouble to like tell them like off. But I feel like I would just avoid them. That's like what I would do, because I used to have this like issues where I would just think like I'm being avoidant because I can't face this guy because I'm anxious, and I realized that it's like normal to be anxious around someone that makes you feel off, and it doesn't have to be because of anxiety or attachment. It's just simply how your body just doesn't want to like be with this person. And I was just feeling lonely also in a way that I kept telling and feeling to myself that I was liking guys who are just so unavailable to me. And I also realized that it happened even with recent people, or like how it was in the past. And I realized that I probably couldn't really fix myself in this way, like because I still end up alone, and I know these people like online or in real life. Then eventually, like it's easy for me because if someone doesn't want me, they like would like leave me alone. But I'm here like still caught up in it, so it's like I have it easy because I don't have it any other way. It was painful for me, and it still is, because like I just get like abandoned and left behind. But that is how it should be, because like that person wouldn't waste my time or like lead me on, and like I'm glad about that. But like it's always about me and this like feeling that I need to stay with this person. And I feel like I thought about this to myself those years, and I realized if this person gives me a value, like this sense of like feeling that I can get something from him, like he's a good person to talk to, I'm like, why not? Because I do struggle with like feeling like anxious around people, and I'm glad I don't have to see these people every day or like be with this person like in an intimate way or like a very close way, because I was like thinking this does make sense. Maybe it's my body, maybe it's the way that I can let go. Yeah, it's hard for me. I do understand that, I also can't help who I fall for and stuff, but I felt lonely with people who kept leaving me for other people. For example, guys that I would like, they would always leave for someone else, and I know it's their choice, but it's like it makes me feel lonely because it's just a repeated thing that always happens to me. So basically, I feel like people are always gonna be the most important in the way you perceive them, because then you get to know that you can always select those out that brings you so much misery. And yeah, I think it's really hard for people to find an actual genuine someone, and I think I'm projecting like that people is me or that person is me, and I'm not sure how it is like for other people, because I've been feeling lonely in a way that I'm know that I'm old. I know that I don't have my life together, and I know that I am literally just a girl who is really like open to feeling like marriage and love is a nice feeling, and I feel like I'm lonely because I don't ever experience that. I experience like crushing on someone and it's a nice feeling, but I am just curious to know that how it is like for me if I really have someone, because I haven't met anyone in my life, and that someone means like in a really romantic sense or in a close sense, because I always felt like every time I had to be this kind of way around someone that I can't like relax and be myself. And I'm not complaining, it's more like I really wish that I can experience being really happy beside someone. Like I was thinking to myself like, how is it like for married people that are like people who have found like just someone. I was so like confused about my perception, my whole life, my identity. As a person, I do realize and I do feel I'm not real, and people aren't real at times, and people probably think I have solipsism, like I believe in that, or that I'm like having trauma or dissociating, and I feel like I'm not. Like I feel like I genuinely believe that I'm not real at times, and yeah, I was like maybe other people aren't real, but I truly do believe doctors who treat me aren't real because I don't see them around where I go. And the funny thing that life is ironic, because when I was going to work, which I go often to this far place, and I ride a bus, and I saw people that I've never talked to for a long time at the bus stop. Or I saw repeated people from like the cafe that are on the bus, and I see repeated people from that I saw before on the bus too, which is kind of funny because I was realizing that I don't think I would ever fall like into paths with these people again. I know I literally did, so it's like something new for me. And I was like thinking like it's crazy, and like I just feel like I saw my friend who was from my secondary school, and then I said like, I think I know you. You were like from my class, and now I have his Instagram and know what he's up to and stuff. And I was like, I really cried also. So I don't like ask him like, hey, how are you? But I just see his stories, and I'm like, okay. But I was just thinking like, I find life surprising, and like it's like some kind of like loneliness because of how disconnected I am with people, and how like people like go apart because of distance, but like you eventually like can find each other at some point of time if your life is meant to be or something. Because I think it's just what I was saying is like it's so coincidental to meet these people that it's not a coincidence anymore, because I felt like I wouldn't meet these people anymore. And I only like totally based on memory that I have trouble like with remembering people's faces, but I kind of remember like who he is and who was she and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, because I feel like the moment I wake up from naps, I realized that I was like having this like moments of like feeling sort of like I'm the only person in this world, like loneliness, yeah, but it's like not in a bad way. I wake up and I'm like, wow, I didn't dream of anything. I mentioned to you guys I don't dream most times, because it's probably because I have like OCD and schizophrenia, and I think like my mind just like gets overwhelmed that I don't dream sometimes, which is most times, but I still do dream other times, and it's like it's pretty cool because also vivid dream those rare times, and I don't really like it. But basically, my loneliness also happens when I wake up from a nap, and there was just the feelings of I'm still alive, and feelings of like, okay, what should I do now? Because when I wake up, I feel like I had a really peaceful nap and I did enjoy everything truly. And yeah, I've been through a lot with myself, and I realized that it's basically something that I want to keep building on. I do have feelings of like negativity that makes me feel a bit mentally unstable, but I feel like I have to know about how I'm gonna feel, how I'm gonna tell myself, how I'm gonna talk to myself. And talking to myself that doesn't bring me any more negative things helps me a lot, because what you talk to yourself is how you're gonna see yourself and how you're gonna like view yourself. And life is already tough enough, and I think that's just one of the ways where you really do kind of like want to take care of yourself more as you grow older, because like as you grow older, like your time is running out, or you feel like you should do this or you should do that. And I feel like it's just like a constant rush for me. Even if I don't have anything on, I feel rushed myself at split seconds moments of the day. Then after I don't have it, and I realize that it's really really hard to unrewind that and say like, hey, I can take a break and I can breathe. Yeah, it's kind of a scary feeling, because it feels like you are really rushed to do things when you can just do, be yourself at that very moment and not really care or like think about anything that worries you. And I think like it's really just like important to also know that like loneliness is also external. Like you feel like you're lonely, but like there's always things that makes you lonely. Like, for me, people and how I see people and their way of living, and I feel like I'm alienated. And you know it's not a bad loneliness feeling, it's more like a way of like I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on that or anything. But I really don't. But I feel like I'm always being like the loner, and that I don't have like friends or anything, or like I grew up being bullied, or that I was at a lot at recess. But now it's like it's something new to me, because when I go to work, I chat with colleagues, and like I'm never really that alone. But I do feel like I'm just lonely because I don't really feel like I kind of fit in with like people, and how society is always painting themselves in this picture like, oh, it's normal to get married, or it's normal to kind of, you know, show this and that, especially on social media. And it really kind of makes me feel like that's how, my perception is making me feel lonely. Yeah, and then when at night time comes, like when you have a really bad like day with your mental health, you feel like you're so alone and lonely, and it's like maybe it's a normal feeling. But yeah, I find myself getting like more like pressured with like things around me, and how society makes people, you know think it's normal to do stuff, when I'm not like that at all. So I kind of like myself being like all alone, and just trying to like lose my mind in my room. It's okay. Or like just like embracing myself and my solitude, because I don't really have it every time. So yeah, if you ever feel like you're lonely with someone beside you that's supposed to take care of you, like your friend or your family member or your spouse, it's like it really sucks. I don't know who in the world would feel like this, because I have this really dark mindset of things. Like maybe it really does happen to people who have someone close to them but they still feel lonely. I wouldn't want to place myself in a situation. I like my peace too much. But yeah, it's like if you feel lonely and you're just like me. Also, if you know you're just like me, you can always like tell yourself that it's really not as bad as it seems. Like, you know, gaslight yourself a bit and or feel like you're so lonely that you don't know how to escape it. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about how loneliness affects me and maybe realize that you're not alone in the way you perceive the world.